Another circumstance here, we could be setting up a TP bomb. So 1, 2, 3, teleporter right here, right? And then you can take it with the turrets, put pressure on backline. You've got 3 turrets, which will discourage people from engaging on you. And then you go from there. The other alternative is what?
Beam the Rhine, maybe? I don't know.
Beam the Rhine, sure, exactly. You might be thinking they might be going in with like Shatter. So you throw like 1 turret up here, maybe a turret up here, right? Playing more defensively. And then just beam the Rhine and try to wait for them to engage on you, and you've got turrets pre-set up during the engage. So that's like that's the dichotomy of Symmetra. You're either engaging as a flanker and going in aggressively, or you're playing steady, careful, slow front line and setting up your turrets to discourage them from pushing into you. Hey guys, this is an advanced Symmetra guide working with a top 500 Symmetra in this one. And we're going to be going in detail on playstyle, macro, cooldown usage, and a lot more. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and please consider supporting me on Patreon and subscribing to YouTube if you haven't already. Have a good one. For me, what Symmetra is good at, as simply, and as this is like really stupid, but she's just a good close range hero, right? But the difference between like say you and I don't know, a Junkrat, right, is your ability to close the distance and then disengage safely is significantly better, right? A lot of in and out, right? In and out, in and out, in and out, right? It's almost a little bit like a Reaper playstyle, but I actually think you're a lot better than Reaper at that, because it's a lot, TP is just a little bit more consistent than his TP, as long as it doesn't get broken. So, you know, whether it's TP bombs, right-click flanks, all that kind of foolishness. And then the other thing that you have going for you as well is you have like pretty consistent mid-range spam, which you can use against certain comps. So like your right-click obviously does like pretty decent damage and it moves really fast. So and you have one of the best DPS ults in the game, period, as well. So let's just see if we're leveraging our ability to, I guess, flank, take angles, put pressure, get on backline, distract, assassinate, you know, and then if you have the opportunity to, beaming down front line is also okay. Why do you TP up top?
It's mainly, I mean, it's harder than for them to hit me. I get cover as well from
Right. Because if you TP'd here, your turrets would immediately start hitting the Hanzo. That's a huge benefit. But it would be easier to break your TP, and like you said, you don't have cover. And actually, if you see here, when you TP up top, you're safe. And by the time they push you, your TP is basically broken. Well, actually, I was gonna say probably would have been better for you to TP out just to play it safe, considering that you're already up 2. But regardless, if this Hanzo hits a shot on you, body shot, you can just drop. You can jump off the high ground, and there's your cover again, right? And then if he pushes you, he walks into your turret range. So this is good. I like this. I think the only thing, like I said, is probably would have been smarter to TP out there. But I'm assuming at this point, at some point in time, we're probably going to be setting up for a way to take Kaigon and pressure out Hanzo. Yeah. So you're just going to straight up fight for it. So, I guess, here's my question here. What's the problem with the Symmetra wall?
Well, I mean, once they back up, it's kind of a bad wall. Right.
Now, the funny thing is it splits them, right? Which is exactly what you want to do with the wall, right? But the problem is the way the battle is going, it's very easy for them to shift where the fight is happening. They can just disengage by just a couple of meters, and all of a sudden the wall doesn't do anything. So what I prefer you to do is sim wall, is either you're playing in like Koth, right? Where the fight, like let's say you're playing on like Legion Control Center, where the fight happens in pretty much one spot and they can't really kite it out. Once they've committed, they can't kite out, right? It's over. All right, so then you can use it easily there. The other option is, I know this is a little bit tricky at this point in time, but I don't want you actually setting tempo with Symmetra wall. I actually want you responding to once they've committed in a fight location, that's when you use your Symmetra wall. Because once they've committed, then they have to disengage, and it's too ugly for them to disengage. Yeah, this is not it. This isn't it. It's just too easy to disengage. Let's keep watching here. And like even here, like, surely this isn't the best place for turret, right?
Yeah.
Where would you turret?
Probably like behind like the Mercy on the blue thing.
Yeah, exactly. What I was thinking. Right here, right? Throw it right here. There's Genji. You control the space here, right? Just throw a little bit. Now they might break it, yeah, but it actually it's helpful. It denies the high ground. This is too easy to break for them. This is too easy to break, and it doesn't, like, here's the thing: is like you want turrets to either complement your beam in a location where it's hard for them to break, or you want turrets to control space that you cannot reach with your beam. In other words, I can't reach this far with my beam, so I'm gonna throw a turret here to make sure that they don't go there, right? Then if they walk away from the beam of the turret, they walk into my beam, right? Same reason why you could throw a turret over here, right? Up above the wall. Would Ryan break it? Probably, but it would provide an area of pressure that you cannot reach with your beam, right? That's the whole point. But here, too easy to break. Now, the only reason why you would throw a turret at your feet, as we saw earlier, right, is why?
Maybe if you think you're gonna get dove or...
Sure, it's a 1v1, right?
Yeah.
It's a 1v1. It's right, exactly. Good. Another situation here where just throw a turret on the sign, you know? Surely you can do that, right? Just quickly.
Yeah.
Probably worth it to slow in the beam change. And you're also greeting, I think, a little bit as well. So like right here, you see the Mercy Beam, you hear the res, you haven't finished the Genji. As soon as he gets Mercy Beam here, what should be the plan? Like literally right now, what should you do?
Back up.
Yes, you're out. And let me tell you. And there it is, right? It's still there. You've done your job. You forced Genji back. You unfortunately didn't cancel the res. You're baiting 1, 2 people's attention right now, soon to be 3. Go back. Peel off this Reinhardt. Now, this TP might not be safe, but it's got to be safer than where you're at right now. And you're dead. Right? Because you have to think like a Tracer, right? Like a Tracer goes in, distracts 3 people, gets her recall force, she's low HP. She doesn't go, I have to get the kill. She's done her job. She's baited enough resources with that distraction at a good time for her team to be able to kill the Reinhardt. Like that Reinhardt was in really serious trouble. You've done your job. Well done. Get out. Don't die for it. All right. Another circumstance here, we could be setting up a TP bomb. So 1, 2, 3, teleporter right here, right? And then you can take it with the turrets, put pressure on backline. You've got 3 turrets, which will discourage people from engaging on you. And then you go from there. The other alternative is what? What else could you do from here?
Just beam the Rhine, maybe? I don't know.
Beam the Rhine, sure, exactly. You could also just beam the Rhine. You might be thinking they might be going in with like shatter. So you throw like 1 turret up here, maybe a turret up here, right? Playing more defensively. And then just beam the Rhine and try to wait for them to engage on you, and you've got turrets pre-set up during the engage. So that's like that's the dichotomy of Symmetra. You're either engaging as a flanker and going in aggressively, or you're playing steady, careful, slow front line and setting up your turrets to discourage them from pushing into you. Now look at the situation right now. Which do you think that they're going to do?
Well, it looks like they're playing pretty aggressive.
It does. And it makes sense as well. Look at the ultimates. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not expecting you to go big brain ult track here, right? Especially as an instinctual player. But something to consider, right? Whereas your team, we might have magic Kirikou ult. So really for me, I wouldn't be mad with either one, but both seem very reasonable for me. Let's see what we do. We just beam Rhine, okay? You can kind of see where your turrets would have been useful here, right?
Yeah.
And also, the funny thing is if you are playing defensively, so just focusing on beaming shield, how do you want to position around that?
I mean, I feel like I need to play in like the maximum beam range, or maybe just on the right corner there.
Yes, that's it. It's just a micro adjustment. I just want you a little bit further this way. You're still going to get shattered, correct? Unless your reaction speed is great.
Yeah.
But do you see who can no longer see you?
Yeah, the Hanzo.
The Hanzo. And actually, it's also harder for the Genji as well. So a little bit better with the cover usage. A few turrets here, and we're good to go. Or do what I said earlier. Triple turret here. TP. Start shooting back here. 1, 2, 3. I'm feeling hot. I get out. And that creates space for your team as well. You have options. If we do, careful. Yeah, see, and this is again the greed, where you're just a little bit too anxious. What should you have done at this point in time right now?
Oh, okay, my HP is 60, but if it was a bit higher, I would have TP'd the top right with like 2 turrets and start beaming the Mercy.
Exactly. I don't want you reaching. It feels like there's a lot of like reaching, right? When really you can just kind of sit here, throw some right clicks, and then as soon as your HP gets high enough, just turret, teleport, bam. shoot the Hanzo, zone the Hanzo, take the Duel and the Mercy. And from this position, you've got so many, even without your teleport, let's say your teleport gets destroyed, you're so safe out here and you're actually on top of them, which is what you want to be, Symmetra, right? You're not using your teleporter enough to kind of close the distance as safely as you possibly can. But what are some micro adjustments that we can make in our play?
I think a lot of the time I'm being too greedy. And my turret usage is a little bit like...
Okay, let's stop you right there. What do you mean too greedy? Let's be specific. What needs to be practiced, right? Because good DPS players are always aggressive. We don't want you, right? So what does greedy mean?
Like, I'm kind of biting off more than I can chew. Like, I'll take the TP, but then I'll stay, like, for too long.
Right, once you've already done your job.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, what else are you seeing here?
Well, the turret usage is a bit, like, just terrible in general.
Right.
I feel like I should be propping them up for where I think they're going to go.
Sure.
Rather than, like, just at my feet.
It feels very random, right? It feels like you know the techs, you know the defensive turrets, you know the turrets on the wall, you know the turret bombs, you know exactly everything, the details, right? You probably know more than I do about that, but you're not putting enough effort into it.
And yeah, my ults have just been a bit terrible, really.
Right. Okay, so we have at least a very basic framework of what we're going to look for, and the best news ever is that we have another 4.5 minutes of footage to keep looking at, right? So we know what to look for. Let's see if there's anything new, or let's see if it's more of the same, and we know how important it is. Now, this is just one game, but this is something that you can kind of keep an eye on in future games as well, right? And because maybe your ults are actually usually really, really good. You just weren't feeling it today, right? So you'll have a good idea. So I want to see your turret setup here, actually, pre-fight here. Let's check this out. So, or did you already set them up? One there, one there, one there. Okay. Now, why do you spread your turrets out like that? This is a good thing, by the way, and I think people watching this might learn from this. Why do you do that?
So on the left side, I kind of have it as like a venom mine, like a widowmaker, so I know if like there's someone coming on the left.
Yes.
And the two ones on the right are just because normally people push on the right side.
Sure. So if anybody climbs over the wall, like the Genji we saw earlier, hits him, and at a really bad time too, because he's and now there's a turret, right? Same thing here, right? Now, as long as this turret can actually reach here, and it can, this is a very important. So sometimes even if you know that they're all coming here, right? It's worth it to just have a turret do nothing, right? Because it doing nothing provides you information. You kind of see what I'm saying? If you put your turret away from here and put it up in here, maybe it'd be more useful. But also you would expose yourself to that Hanzo taking a flank or the Kiriko taking a flank. You see that? So sometimes it's okay to have a turret literally do nothing, because by it doing nothing, it's telling you something, which is more valuable than it actually doing something, right? I really like your turret usage here. Really like it. Yeah? In theory, this play is okay, right? Because what's the intention of this teleporter?
It's just to try and expose, like, behind line, make them turn, kind of.
Yeah, creating space, right? It seemed okay. Bought attention, bought Genji, bought Ryan, bought you time. And then you go to aggressively control Hanzo. Maybe not the best duel in the history of the world. I think you could have used better cover. Probably would have preferred more right clicks rather than beam. But what's the problem? Let's go back here. All of this action is assuming that your team is taking this fight normally, right? But you're not. Your Zen's dead.
Yeah.
So what should you do at this point in time?
I mean, if it's like everyone in the voice channels like here, probably back up and wait for the Zen.
I mean, you don't even need to know the voice channel. Just use your eyeballs. What do you see in your screen?
I mean, the Ryan's pushing aggressively, and
what do you not see? What do you not see in your screen?
My sig.
Your entire team is gone.
Yeah.
So then what should you do here? I actually think you should have used teleporter. I agree with this, but I disagree with where you teleported to.
To the right?
Yes.
Like near the choke?
Yes. I would have teleported either to the right near the choke here, and then kind of baited them and run away and wasted time, played it safe. Or I would have even teleported up to top, thrown 1 or 2 turrets here, and just spammed from here. Given up space, and then for them to push me up here, who's going to push me up here? Genji, right? Or Kiriko.
Yeah.
They might, but that's kind of overextending for them, right? You can actually beat them even though you're down your Zen, right? So what you do is you either bait them to overextend, or you play in a safe spot so that you give time for your team to take angles, maybe for your Zen to get back. You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think when you're down one, you need to not play defensively, but just take different angles, play safe angles, and see if the enemy team overextends. Instead, you go in, you use your only cooldown to go in, but this only works if your Zen is aggressively spamming and healing and supporting. So, like, I think this would have made a lot more sense here. So take this angle here, do what your cast is doing. In fact, you would have actually killed this guy, and your cast would have lived, and then you can use your aggressive angles to spam. Do you see that?
Yeah.
That's good. Take it again? I would even take it again, honestly. Just I think if it just go again, you know? They've backed off, right? Go again. I don't again, don't reach. You don't reach, you know? As soon as you've crossed this line here, like alarm bells need to go off in your brain. You see it? Like even without the Hanzo here, like this feels like yeah, and there it is, right? Like it's too far for your hero. It's just too far. Like it's just go back up top. Set up a turret here, peek out here, you know, and then maybe you can set up a teleporter in here and do some cheeky stuff, set up some turrets, you know, that would be more aggressive, but it just feels like a lot of your deaths come from just reaching a little too far. Good. This should be advantageous for you. Yeah, this is good. How long can you stay? 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 Nice. Good. Don't reach. Good. Ah, unlucky. I think this is fine. I think this is fine. My only concern here is actually maybe the wall placement, because if you're thinking, you know, as soon as you use wall, especially now that they're down one, they're going to disengage, right? So where are they going to disengage to?
To the left. I should have placed it more to the left.
Right. So if you just simply angled it here, you guys can not only chase to here, you could chase literally to the spawn, right? Which is what you want, right? That's what we want to see right there, right? Throw the turret through, you're in with the right click. I mean, it's obviously you know that combo, but sometimes you miss it. Don't reach, good. I will say this as well. So when you go in for the TP, where should this TP have been optimally?
In the doorway.
Right, in the doorway, or even closer to the doorway, because I feel bad that you had to, because you had to TP out because you got spooked, right? I would have preferred it to be a little bit here so that you can stay here longer, right? Good TP though, very nice. Okay. So turrets again, right? 1, 2, where should the third be? Venomine, right?
Hopefully it's on the rock, yeah, to the right.
Yeah. Venomine on the rock or here. Got me? One or the other. Okay. I like this position. This is good. And then now, right. I was going to say, I was waiting for the turret, right? You've committed this location. Use the turret. Very good. Don't tunnel. Yeah, see, this is just a little bit of the reaching. Part of this is ult, but as well as like when you cross here, you don't know where the Genji is. You don't know where the Hanzo is. You're doing a great job here controlling this lane. I don't know. A lot of these deaths just come from the same greed concept, right? Where it's just you get a little bit greedy. Yep, this turret makes sense, right? Surely this Genji or Hanzo come after you, right? My only problem, though, well, you know, this is okay. I was going to say my only problem is that you're moving away from the turret, but maybe they try and flank you, yeah. Okay, this is good. TP. So, like, right here, you're doing a fine job, right? Unfortunately, it goes to blade you. TP right now. Where would you TP?
I'll probably just TP behind the line.
Yeah,
like
just throw it.
statue
Literally just throw it right now. It doesn't matter where you TP. Just use it. Get a distraction. Get yourself away from that Genji for a split second, and then just make him turn around and then go right back again and beam him again. Or maybe you distract the Hanzo, right? Don't reach. Because you can see it. My stomach is curling. Like, just don't reach. It's so risky. Don't reach. Okay, we're good. Retake hive. You're killing me. Really got to work on our ults. Like, just let them in, you know? Waste as much time as you possibly can. Let them in. Then use them to, you know? Like, so what I would do here, so like optimally, what would you do here? Don't think about the ultimate. Think about just big picture. Positioning, cooldowns, setup, turrets, everything. Fill me in on all the details. What would you do?
I mean, I'll probably just want to TP back to high ground to my team. We're already down Zen.
Yep.
It's final fight.
Yes.
And I would probably set up turrets for the point.
Sure. So TP back to high ground. Maybe throw a turret here. Maybe throw a turret here. Maybe one turret right here just in case Genji dives you, right? And then you wait as long as you possibly can until the enemy team has committed. And then you pop the ult, right? Okay. Let's see how this goes. Yeah. Just kind of a disaster, you know? So our setup... Our positioning and our ults kind of are the same kind of thing, just in different ways. So what are you seeing needs to be worked on? Basically more of the same? Anything more important from what we've seen? Or is it just basically what we said at halftime?
Yeah, probably what we just said at halftime, honestly.
Okay. Avoiding greed when unnecessary. And being aware of reaching. Thinking about turrets in each situation. And as we said, you already have the knowledge with the turrets. It's just about applying your focus a little bit to it, your attention. More attention to scouting, to venom mine turrets, and so on, right? And then also the ults. Make sure enemy team is committed, or make sure the fight isn't kiteable or waitable, right? Because this is such a big map, you know. It's so easy for them to move around the wall. Some maps it's not going to be as much of an issue, right? Like you can use your ult, and even if it's a little early, it's fine. They're not going to be able to kite it.